Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 5th, 2018. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards in the Township website.
At this time, everybody please silence or turn off your phones. Roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilman Halloran.
Here.
Vice President Crate.
Here.
Councilman Mumolo.
Here.
Councilman Fosman.
Here.
Councilwoman Ponterero. President DeYoung.
Here.
Thank you.
Everybody please rise to salute to the flag in a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the June 12th and June 26th minutes?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Councilman Halloran, second by Council Vice President Crate. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are moving on to the consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Resolution 4-7 and ordinance on first reading 5-1 are off the agenda and are not being considered for tonight. That being said, Resolution 4-1, authorize cancellation of grant appropriated reserves and receiveables. This resolution authorizes the cancellation of grant receivables balances and appropriated reserve balances which will not be used will not be received or expended. Resolution 4-2, authorize receipt of bids, roadway improvements to Baywood. Mayor?
Thank you. This resolution authorizes receipt of bids for improvements to Baywood. Specifically, the project is only for drainage improvements. The Brick Township MUA has plans to replace the water and sewer systems within the project limits, and they will be restoring mill, and pave the roads as part of their project down the road. But this one is for authorized receipt of bids for storm drain and inlet reconstruction for Valencia, Cartagena, Alhama, Monterey, Cadiz, and St. Lawrence. Thanks.
Thank you. Resolution 4-3, authorize receipt of bids, access control system. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for an access control system, specifically for additional door fob at Town Hall. Resolution 4-4, authorize award of bid Holly Hill Cove roadway resurfacing contract. Mayor.
Thanks. This resolution authorizes award of bid for Holly Hill Cove roadway resurfacing to Earl Asphalt in Farmingdale, New Jersey, for a total base bid amount of $512,313.13. And the project includes Hollyberry Lane, parts of Tanninger Way, Bluffview Drive, and Deer Path. Notices were emailed to 64 potential bidders. 10 contractors responded to the notice and requested bid packages. 5 bids were received with base bid prices ranging from $512,313.13 to $944,625. The other 2 lowest bidders were Miko Incorporated in Clarksburg with a base bid of $515,324.15 and CJ Hess Company with a base bid of $420.05.
Thank you. Resolution 4-5, authorize award of bid roadway improvements to Heritage Hill. Mayor.
This resolution authorizes award of bid for roadway improvements to Heritage Hill to Miko Incorporated in Clarksburg, New Jersey, for a total bid amount of $458,667. The project consists of resurfacing Merriman Way, Liberty Lane, Revere Drive, and Revolutionary Road within the Heritage Hill section of the township. Notices went out to 64 potential bidders. 9 responded and requested packages. 5 bids were received, and the prices range from $458,667 to $593,367.50. And the other 2 lowest were Earl Asphalt and S Brothers Incorporated.
Thank Thank you. 4-6, authorize award of bid roadway improvements to Laurel Crest. Mayor again.
Yep, more roads being done. This authorizes the award of bid for roadway improvements to Laurel Crest to Miko Incorporated, Clarksburg, New Jersey, in the amount of $238,130.50. And the project generally consists of resurfacing of Poplar Way, Center Drive, and Folsom Drive within the Laurel Crest section of the township. Notices were mailed to 64 potential bidders. 9 responded and wanted bid packages. 5 bids were received, with prices ranging from $238,130.50 all the way up to $297,297. And the other 2 lowest bidders were Earl Asphalt with a total bid of $243,000 and $243,013.13, and S Brothers Incorporated of South River with a total bid of $247,812, and the lowest is Miko Incorporated.
Thank you. 4-7 is off. 4-8, authorize award of contract, purchase and supply of rock salt through Stafford Township Cooperative Pricing System. This resolution authorizes award of contract for the purchase and supply of rock salt, regular pre-treated and liquid de-icing agent, to Atlantic Salt, Lowell, Massachusetts. The Detroit Salt Company, Detroit, Michigan, and Chemical Equipment Labs of Delaware, Newton Square, Pennsylvania. This bid was completed through the Stafford Township Cooperative Pricing Systems, of which Brick Township is a participating agency. This is a 2-year contract beginning July 22nd, 2018 through July 21st, 2020, as awarded by the lead agency. This is an open-ended contract with funds being encumbered contingent upon the availability of funds in the budget year not to exceed $200,000 per year. Resolution 4-9, authorize award of Category B and rebid Category A professional medical services. This resolution authorizes an award of contract for professional medical services for Category B psychological examination to the Institute of Forensic Psychology, Oakland, and Raymond F. Hanbury of Neptune. The contract shall be rendered at specific rates for different services required, with a total amount not to exceed $110,000. Bid notices were mailed to 11 prospective bidders. 5 bidders picked up proposals, and 3 bids were received. 2 of those bids are being awarded tonight, and the 3rd is being rejected due to an oversight of the proposal page. This resolution also authorizes re-advertising for the rebid of Category A, physical examination services. Resolution 410, authorize change order number 1 final, roadway improvements to Lake Riviera Phase 3. This resolution authorizes change order number 1 and final to the roadway improvements to Lake Riviera Phase 3 contract. The contract to Earl Asphalt Farmingdale will increase $21,632.08, increasing the contract value from $1,427,313.13 to $1,448,945.21. The change order includes additional material and labor to resurface 5 extra roads, including Yorktown Boulevard and Old Toms River Road. Resolution 411, authorize renewal of Year 2 contract with Homes Now, Inc. This resolution authorizes the award of contract with Homes Now, Inc., BRIC, to facilitate the implementation of the Township's Fair Share Housing Plan. Resolution 412, authorize transfer of Bay Saver pump-out boat to Ocean County. Councilman Mumolo.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes transfer of the Bay Saver pump-out boat to Ocean County. The township partners with the county on the pump-out boat program. The county owns the boats and provides the funds for the ongoing maintenance and operation. In 2004, the Bay Saver was registered as township-owned, and this resolution authorizes the transfer back to the county for $1, and we're hoping they can get the smell out. Thank you.
Resolution 413, support NJDOT traffic regulation order, bus stops at various locations. This resolution supports the NJDOT's request for additional bus stop locations as follows. Along Route 88 eastbound and on the southerly side between Kenneth Place and Van Zyl Road, at midstreams in 88 on the far side and Burnt Bridge Road on the near side. Along Route 88 westbound on the northerly side at Burnt Bridge Road on the far side and between Van Zyl Road and Kenneth Place. The NJDOT's request came after the department conducted a study to inventory all bus stops along state and U.S. routes in New Jersey. The bus stops discussed were requested following the survey and investigation. Our township engineer and traffic safety division reviewed the request and have no objections. Resolution 414, authorize motor vehicle sale license transfer, AAM Auto Sales. This resolution authorizes a motor vehicle sale license transfer from Circle Dodge to AAM Auto Sales, 781 Route 70 Brick. A recent site plan was submitted to the Brick Township Planning Board to repave, restone, and provide additional landscaping at this location. The Township's Code Enforcement, Zoning Department, and Fire Bureau have inspected the site and found it to be in compliance. Resolution 415, authorize motor vehicle sales license transfer, Professional Auto Cooper LLC. This resolution authorizes a motor vehicle sales license transfer from AAM Auto Sales, Route 88 East, to Professional Auto Cooper LLC. The Township's Code Enforcement, Zoning Department, and Fire Bureau have inspected the site and found it to be in compliance. Resolution 416, authorize placement of tax liens for property cleanups. This resolution authorizes the placement of tax liens for property cleanups at 444 Adamston Road in the amount of $52.86, 130 Woodland Drive in the amount of $112.35, and 4 Unity Drive in the amount of $135.68. Resolution 417, authorize special event permit, Kids for Canines. This resolution authorizes a special events permit for Kids for Canines from 9 a.m. to noon on September 15th at the Drum Point Sports Complex. Resolution 418, authorize special events permit, Operation Rucket. This resolution authorizes a special events permit for Operation Rucket from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. September 22nd at the VFW on Adamston Road. This annual event is held to raise awareness of the 22 daily veteran suicides by rocking 22 kilometers over 13.5 miles from Seaside Park Marina to the Brick VFW post. Resolution 419, authorize special events permit JSAC Beach to Bay 5K. This resolution authorizes a special events permit for the Jersey Shore Animal Center's 7th annual Beach to Bay 5K from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. October 6th, starting and finishing at Brick Beach 3. Resolution 420, bond releases and reductions. Madam Clerk.
Yes, 420A is an inspection fund release for Richard Haught Jr. on Tilton Road in the amount of $279.29. 420B is an inspection fund release for Maniloking Road Associates LLC for Maniloking Road in the amount of $364.10. 420C is an inspection fund release for Pelicano Builders on Route 70 in the amount of $737.64. And 420D is an inspection fund release for Kevin Laudencini for Route 70 in the amount of $202.70.
Thank you. 421, tax collector, Mrs. Birkin.
Thank you. 21A, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 701, Lot 9.05. 21B, senior citizen deduction granted for 2017. 21C is the redemption of a tax sale certificate. 21D is a state tax appeal granted, Block 44.04, Lot 8, 198 Valhalla Drive, in the amount of $1,657.07. 21E is a state tax appeal granted for Block 673, Lot 18, 799 Route 70, in the amount of $70,699.20, which is a 4-year appeal.
Very good. That ends our consent agenda. Open it up to council.
Yes, I have some questions. On 4-4, in their bid, it's recommended by the ARH Engineering. We do not recommend awarding that the add alternate A bid, and we're awarding that. And I just want to know why we're awarding it when the engineer recommends not to do it. Must have been some kind of error or flaw.
I believe the engineer is recommending that we only award the base bid and not the
Yes.
alternate, and that's what we're awarding, the
Yes,
base bid and not the alternate.
Because it says plus in here. It's got both prices here. All right, because it shows both prices here. Okay. Thank you. And 4-5 and 4-4, they're right next to each other. Why didn't we go out to bid them together instead of separately? Because the setup fees and everything like that for people paving, wouldn't it be better pricing if one company did both jobs? Because they're right next to each other, right off the Herbert's, off Thiel Road they are, back there.
Mrs. Bergen.
Does anybody-
At the time we authorized the design, we were not sure that we would be at this point in time where the projects would be completed at the same time. It's just how it panned out, but we didn't design it as one project, so we didn't bid it as one
Because
project.
I know with Public Works, the award of that job was taken off tonight because I understand because the pricing looks super low, but we waited 2 years to get all the projects together so we get one bid on that instead of going out and piecemealing it for the pumps, for this building, for that building. Instead, we get it all done by one price, and it would be less expensive. So I thought that same theory would go with these roads over here, because one company setting up, doing their startup fees, or setup fees and everything, or getting your vehicles out there, it would be a lot cheaper,
Mrs. Bergen.
just to let you know. This,
Well, I certainly do appreciate the comment.
I'm
I
just
feel it's one job.
going
is
by
a-
Will you please let her answer?
past practices.
I feel that bidding it as one project for the DPW canopy project is a prudent strategy. It's one site, one location, one contractor managing the several different components of that job. Was prudent and also helped us financially to know exactly what we were walking into, as opposed to Project A and then adding and doing a section, and the next thing you know, you're over budget. Road paving is somewhat different than building a canopy to cover vehicles. And this was, as I said earlier, designed separately, so they're bid and built separately.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I have a motion and second from council?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to the public for questions.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Just a couple of clarifications. 14 and 15, we're doing a motor vehicle sales license transfer from Circle to AAM, and then we're doing a same thing from AAM to Auto Cooper?
AAM is transferring their license that they currently have.
Oh,
to-
not the same one?
No.
They just happen to be together,
Yes.
okay. That's why I said, that's why I wanted clarification.
Yep.
And the other one is, what's the name of this thing on 18?
18.
Rocket?
Ruckus.
Rucket.
R-U-C-K.
R-U-C-K.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm going to have to assume, no, presume, I don't assume, that you meant me, but you've forgotten my name. That Alzheimer's is a tough thing. I have several items I'd like more information about. 411, the fair share housing. How much is our fair share housing and how much of it is Homes Now Inc. taking care of? What is our fair share?
Can you list all your questions and then we'll go back to them
No,
and answer
I
them?
prefer to do it one at a time. I might forget something, so
Well,
please.
Homes Now is coordinates the entire thing. So they do all of our affordable housing and the fair share housing.
How much is our fair share?
If I may, we collect fees based on projects that are being constructed. A component of that is affordable housing trust fund fees that you contribute when you're doing a project in town. So it's a variable based on how much we collect, but their fee is about 5% of what is collected that they keep for the administrative portion.
And this is open, no dollar amount about the fair share and what they're going to be administering or dispersing?
They disperse the amount that's collected. We keep a small amount here, but each quarter, what we have collected in those fees is transferred over to them as our administrative agent. They keep 5% of that for the administrative fees, and they spend the rest on the affordable housing projects in town, whether it's the acquisition of new parcels and new projects, or it is maintenance and offsetting market rate units.
Okay, then I'll ask it a different way. When do we, the people, find out how much money was collected and how much we handed over to Homes Now Inc.?
They provide us with a quarterly report of their activities, of what their expenditures are. We maintain the trust fund, so we know what we have dispersed to them quarterly as well.
And you advise we, the people, or us, the people, about the amount each quarter?
The amount is exactly what is received and transferred over.
When do we
So
find out what was received and therefore what will be dispersed or
I can
has been
provide you copies
dispersed?
with the reports if you'd like to see those.
Yes. The bus stop, what buses is this that the stops are for? Is this a new bus line in Brick?
New Jersey Transit.
New Jersey Transit. What buses?
New Jersey Transit.
Okay, New Jersey Transit has one that's 137, it has one that's 67, has several that take place here in Brick. So which routes are we talking about? What numbers?
The routes along the Route 88 corridor.
Okay, so you don't know the answer to that, and I'll
I
take
I do
that.
not know the specific bus number, no.
I have the bus stops right here for you if you'd like to see
I'll
them.
talk to you after the meeting then. You seem to have some information they're not able to disperse to me. I'd also like more information.
We also read the bus stops out when I read the
I
explanation.
heard you.
Well,
But you know what? All of these questions should have been discussed at a caucus meeting 1 or 2 weeks before this meeting, well, 1 week before, because there should be 4 in the month. And then there would be the opportunity for you to maybe see, oh, gee, that was a typo there. This, yeah, that's another thought. That was how it was always done, but not since the Republicans actually changed it and you loved it so much you
your
kept
next
it.
question, please?
Yes, I'll give you my next question, since you don't like to hear anything. 21B. What is the senior citizen deduction? Maybe I'm entitled to that and don't know it.
It's a state statute that provides you with a property tax relief, which we can get you information on if you'd like.
Would you please email that to me? You have my email address. And at this time, I'll also ask you, every quarterly, when you have that information that you said you would give me about funds, would you make it an automatic that you email it to me? Okay. For now, that's as much as I'm going to aggravate myself
Anybody
trying to
else
get.
on the consent agenda, please? Yes.
case you don't remember me, I'm one man against taxes.
Yes.
Just a couple quick questions on number 18.
Yes.
What, a little unusual, something to start at 7 o'clock. What is happening at 7 o'clock?
It's a run.
It's a run, they always start early.
They always start early, so it doesn't, they don't.
Well, if I read this correctly, whatever's happening is starting in Seaside Heights.
It's actually, I think it was changed from, it's now going from the VFW up to a portion on the barrier island and then coming back. Is that correct?
That-
Okay, thank you.
And MA 22, yeah, okay. Have we done this before?
Yes.
Okay. This does not require any road closures or police
Everything was gone
escorts?
over by traffic safety and our safety guys, so
That was not my question.
that I was not sure.
There are no road closures.
No road closures or anything
No.
like that? No police escorts that are going?
No. There, if police are required for a special event permit, the applicant pays for the police.
Okay.
But
Right.
but they are not, having them.
I just looked at this
Except for
and-
those that are participating in the run.
Hmm?
Except for those that are participating in the run.
Is this a run or a walk?
Run.
Well, I
Run.
think you could do it either way. I think you could do it however you like.
However you get across the finish line.
Say what?
Depends on how fast you are.
How fast you are? Are they carrying rocks or what?
13 and a half
Some people
miles.
run
It's a
slow.
big run. It's 13 and a half miles, it's a long run.
It's half a marathon.
Okay, you're saying it's 13 and a half miles, she's saying
It's
it's
22 kilometers.
She's saying it's starting at the VFW and then
Yeah.
going out there and coming back?
Yep.
It's a 22K, which is 13 and a half miles.
Okay. Are they gonna be wearing their T-shirts?
I would assume so.
Do you know what the T-shirts look like?
I saw them last year, I haven't seen this year's design.
You wouldn't let your kids wear them to school.
No, I haven't seen it.
You know what M.A. or Ma Deuce Deuce stands for?
No, and I'd rather not have you say it if it's inappropriate, but thank you. I don't know, but I'd rather not know, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a funny statement, yeah, if it's inappropriate. I mean, Brick
You're
is
at a public meeting, there's children here, I'm just asking maybe if you don't say it right now, that would be appropriate. That's all I was saying.
Okay. My point is, as a group of people, right, we're voting on something and allowing something to happen. And I'm not passing judgment on what's happening. My question is, do you know what you're voting on and what the group is that you're doing and you're allowing to do? And they're gonna be walking through or running through the streets of Brick, so children and other people are going to see them. And do you know what M.A. Deuce Deuce is? This is the organization that's running this thing that you're allowing to happen. And no, you don't know what it is, and no, you don't want to know what it is. That I find a little disheartening.
That isn't what I said, I just asked, but I'm not, I just asked that if it was inappropriate that you didn't say it out loud at this moment in time because there are children in the audience, is all that I said.
There's men sitting here with MA 22 on their shirt. There's people gonna be walking through Brick Township with MA 22 on their shirts, right? That's Ma Deuce Deuce. Some kid says, what does that stand for? Well, they're not gonna have to know what it stands for because their emblem is on their shirt, their T-shirts, right? But these are the people who are gonna be walking. I find it disheartening that people don't know what it is you're approving tonight. And I'm sure nobody be offended by what I have to say because I wouldn't say it, but maybe you want to find out what Ma Deuce Deuce really is.
Next.
So it's
Yes.
to honor 22 veterans that die daily,
Yes.
and that's what the group is for.
That's like saying AR-15 stands for assault rifle. Ma Deuce Deuce has nothing to do with 22 people. The group that's running this has nothing to do with the 22 suicides every day that it has to do. That is not what the 22 stands for, right? So you assume that, but you're totally incorrect. Maybe after the meeting, if you don't want me to say it, you can find out what it is.
I was saying what the group is honoring. That's what I was saying. If you heard me, that's what I said.
Next,
But that's not what MA 22 or deuce stands for.
next.
I didn't say it was, I said what the group is honoring.
Anybody else like to speak for public? Yes.
George Scott, Queen Anne Road. I have two questions. Number one, the question is why? Didn't we have any need for $37,742.83 for 2014 post-Sandy planning assistance? We were always crying we didn't have enough money and whatnot. That's a lot of money to cancel and give back. Number 11, and most disturbing to me, as you said to Mrs. Cole, Homes Now, Inc. Takes care of our fair share in affordable housing, which stipulates in here that they have expertise in addressing the issue of affordable housing. There lies my problem. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make some meetings in May and June when you had an ordinance to pass on the sale for 175 Chambers Bridge Road. The amount that was involved there was $1,650,000. I found that a little hard to believe when there's 184 rental units at that particular piece of property. So I did some research into it, and
Mr.
back
Scott,
in-
we don't own the building. We just
Oh, I
own the land.
realize that. That's
Okay.
that's my point.
Well, we can only appraise the land that's there.
Okay.
We can't appraise it with the building.
And I didn't actually see that appraisal, although it is on the agenda tonight to pay Mr. Mancini for that particular appraisal. So my question to you, therefore, since you interrupted me, is how do you value a piece of property at $1,650,000 that has that kind of income, and I don't know exactly what the rental income happens to be, but is assessed for over $11 million. It's $11,902,700. How do you get to $1.6 million? I would have bought that property myself for $1.6 million. And what you did prior to that, and I don't know if the township gave permission, but back in back on September 29th of 2017, a mortgage was given to Homes Now, Inc. for $2,300,000 on that same piece of property. And that was for the leasehold agreement because they didn't own the land. And on October 25th, 15 days later, a notice of settlement or a contract of sale was filed that was dated October 24th between the seller, Homes Now, Inc., and Chambers Bridge Urban Renewal, and the purchaser, National Church Residence Investment Corp. Then on November 3rd, a recorded document was filed with the Ocean County that was dated October the 10th, discharging the Affordable Housing Agreement. Here we are, you're going to give a contract for another year saying that they're doing their job for the township for affordable housing. The agreement pertaining to affordability, housing restrictions on certain rentals units located at 175 Chambers Bridge Road were contained in that document. I'm asking you, did the township authorize the discharge of that, which actually did away with all the restrictions on that particular piece of property?
Mr. Stark?
I'll take a shot at answering some of that. I think we're getting a little far afield from the resolution that's on
Very
here, which
much
doesn't
so.
pertain to the topic you're asking about. But
Well, Kevin, not to interrupt you, but it pertains to a contract where they're taking care of our affordable housing, as the council president stated. But what they're doing here is the actual opposite. They are removing the restrictions of affordable housing on 184 units. How did this not come to the public light back in September and October and November? That I'm just realizing that now from what transpired in May and June of this year. And now you want to go forward, giving them the right to do more affordable housing when we're getting rid of affordable housing units that we've already had that were supposed to be intact until 2044. Now, if you can explain that to me, that would be great.
Sure. Just for the public, what you're talking about is Chambers Bridge residents down the road. The township owns the land.
Correct.
The dirt, right? It does not own the building. The township entered an agreement a number of years ago with the predecessor to Homes Now, where Homes Now would build those buildings and own and operate affordable housing on that site. There's 184 units there. They are all restricted affordable housing units. That's through the lease that the township has with Homes Now. The assessed value you talked about, it is roughly 11 million. That's broken up into improvements, right, the buildings and the land. So the land is assessed, it's right about 2 million under the town. So when you say, well, you would pay 2 million for it, you're free to buy it for 2 million. What you're getting, what you would be getting is the dirt that sits under those buildings, and you wouldn't be getting any rent for it. You'd just be buying the land. The entity buying the land is the entity that is also buying those buildings from Homes Now. It's a entity called National Church Residences based in Ohio. It's the largest nonprofit affordable housing owner and operator in the country. So they're buying that as a package, which makes sense for them to buy it. We did have the land appraised. If you want to know how we had that done, we had it done appraised as if it were land with approvals. In other words, not with improvements on it, because we don't own those. That appraisal came in at 1.65 million. If you don't have it, you're welcome to have it. It's a public document. I can get it for you. We had that done just a little while ago. And prior to now, since I think it was about 1992, the town's been getting rent of $1 per year since then. And when this sale was taking place, NCR wanted to continue that at $1 per year. They wanted to get the lease. The mayor said, well, we should value this and see what the value is to them and to us. And it turned out it's about 1.65 million, so we decided rather than rent it for $1 a year, for the next, I think, 50 years, we would sell it for 1.65 million, which I think makes very good economic sense for the town and for the residents of the town. And as far as the affordable housing restrictions, they were set to expire, I think it was 2040, something like that.
2044.
44. They're bound to that by the lease. I don't know what that release was, but because of that, we have negotiated for, in the deal for sale, to extend those affordable housing restrictions, because we want to have that continue to be an affordable housing project, an affordable housing site. All 184 units will be affordable restricted for at least 40 years from now. And I say at least, they're going to be bound to that by a recorded document that makes it for 40 years. So we wanted to do that, to make sure they weren't going to do anything else with that property, and they're not. That will be something that's recorded as of the sale of the property. So it'll be an extension of the restrictions you were talking about for another 15 years or so.
It says 30.
I'm sorry?
The ordinance that you did in June said to extend it 30 years, I believe.
Yeah, we've negotiated. We haven't, by the way, you say you have a chance to comment. We've extended that a little bit more in the contract. The contract hasn't been approved yet. That'll be up for approval at sometime the next several meetings, and you'll have an opportunity to get up and comment on that. The ordinance was authorizing the sale of the land, which we need to do as a public entity to authorize a piece of land to be sold. The contract for that has not yet been approved yet.
Okay, so what was, with what you said, what was the combination between what this National Church organization paid for the land and what the leasehold was? And where does that money actually go? So when that was built with federal funds? And what I'm trying to find out is, how did the township waive their right for Homes Now, Inc. to encumber that building to the tune of $2,300,000? You had to give them permission.
I don't believe the township had the right to, but if Homes Now was going to do that, put money into that building to improve it, I can certainly guarantee you the township would have approved it. I mean, we approve things like federal funds to go into a building to improve it for affordable housing residents in our town.
No.
So I don't know that it required our approval, but it may have, and I'm certain we would have.
You, at the beginning of your answer to me, said that Homes Now, Inc. built that. They built it, they own it. So
Right.
they built it with their own money, or, again, out of the UCC money that they got, which was really our money?
That was about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I don't know. I'm sure some of it was federal funding. There may have been some funding from the Affordable Housing Fund, but I don't know.
What I couldn't find was the leasehold agreement between the Township of Brick on that particular property to see what the restrictions were
Okay, I have that. I'll give that to you.
to Homes Now, Inc.
Right.
More importantly, the fact that what was filed already, which was with the permission of the Township of Brick and Homes Now, Inc., there are no restrictions on it as of right now, because you agreed with that with the state of New Jersey. Why would you do that?
Well, we didn't do that.
You did.
No,
I have that document right here.
No, we didn't. We, the town, didn't do
It
that.
stipulates the Township of Brick in the state's
Okay, I can
community development
I can
agreement.
guarantee you that affordable housing restrictions on that site have not been released. They are bound to maintain as affordable under the terms of the lease with us, and we are replacing that lease obligation with recorded restrictions that we put in place at the time of sale.
Okay, here is the discharge of affordable housing agreement, signed by the administrator of the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. And my other question was, in the last paragraph, it says, now therefore, for good and valuable consideration, the grantee, okay, and the grantee is the state, grants and forever releases the grantor, the Township of Brick and Chambers Bridge Urban Renewal Housing, so that the lands described above may be conveyed free from any and all restrictions and claims of the grantor, which is eliminating the restrictions of the affordable housing.
I don't know why the state did that, if that's your question. We did not do that, and we are holding them bound to their agreement with the township, which is in the lease
Okay?
agreement.
Somebody had to go to the state and ask for the Township of Brick to release it.
No, you just read the state released it. We did not do that. I don't know where that came from, but it doesn't matter for our purposes. They are bound to the restrictions we put on that property. They're bound by the lease.
So you're saying somebody just went to the state and said the Township of Brick as the grantor and Homes Now, Inc. are going to allow these restrictions
I don't.
to go away? And my question therefore was, what was the good and valuable consideration to do that?
I don't know what that is, but it's not our document. That's a state document.
I understand that. I'm just saying it's naming you as the grantor.
Well, maybe I can, if I take a look at this, I'll talk to
Yeah,
Mr. Scott.
can we move on, Mr. Scott, so we can
Can I,
get to the rest of your
do you want me-
questions?
Okay, so the other question,
Okay, I think it goes to the heart of the matter that if they're gonna take care of our affordable housing, if they're going to have a discharge for 184 affordable housing units, that you really ought to consider this until it is cleared up.
Okay. Mrs. Bergen?
I just wanted to answer your question, Mr. Scott, how are you? On the grants, so we got over $470,000 in 9 different grants for Sandy planning. And we're turning back 32,000, I think, of the 470. A lot of it was used to pay for outside consultants, and so we maxed out what we could in terms of them coming up with the work product. That was part of the grant. So all the work product has been complete. We did all the planning grants that,
So we got change left over, 37,000, okay.
yeah, so it was a significant grant amount, produced several reports, and those are all completed, and we maxed out the best we could. We tried to max out more by having more copies made, but they wouldn't have any part of that, but we tried.
I appreciate the answer.
You're welcome.
As council president, I also think that I need an answer as to why the public didn't know about all this stuff that transpired for 175 Chambers, when in fact the township owned that property or land underneath that building. Did anybody up there know?
We had 2 meetings where we discussed this
We
at
had
length.
many meetings where we discussed this.
So your answer is yes, you knew.
Nothing was the 184 units were never given back.
Mr. Scott,
All we
if
did
you
was
talk
sell
about
the
this
land.
transaction, first of all, part of it's been discussed, part of it is
Not
still
yet.
to be discussed at a future meeting where it's got to be approved. But to say that there hasn't been discussion about this or public hasn't been aware, I mean, maybe you haven't been here for the meetings, but there have been extensive discussions about it.
I'm saying about what transpired September, October, November, encumbering properties that are part of affordable housing without the public knowing. I had no knowledge of it. My question is, did anybody up there have knowledge in it
This
at the
is-
end of the last quarter of last year?
National Church Residency has been running the Chambersbridge residences for years. So Homes Now.
Because that's sublet by Homes Now Inc. to them.
Yes. And Homes Now, under their right, sold the building.
Okay.
They needed approval from us, for the actual land. Next? Yes. You have to come up and state your name, address, and or organization where you're from.
Hi, I'm Christine.
Can you lower the mic? I'm sorry.
Christine Hoffman from Homes Now. And I just want to clarify some of the things. I'm sure I can't clarify everything without our attorney here. We have not sold the building as of yet. And in the contract, it states that the deed restrictions stay. The deed restrictions have never been waived. The 2.3 million have nothing. The restrictions the state talks about is not deed restrictions. So I hope that clarifies some things.
You never.
So,
Okay.
thanks.
Thank you. Yes.
Just one clarification on what I thought I heard. You said that the land underneath sold, assessed at 1.65 million, and that was the assessed value of the unimproved land because you don't own the improvements? Is that
Yes.
correct?
That's correct. It was, we had it appraised. Mr. Scott asked, how would we appraise it?
Okay.
As land only. And we asked our appraiser to do it as land only. He did it as land with approvals for affordable housing, not with improvements. In other words, not with the buildings there, as vacant land with approvals.
Okay.
So that was the procedure he used for his appraisal.
I'm not a lawyer, but, you know, no improvement lands would be a piece of woods out back. A piece of land, let me finish.
Sure.
You've got a piece of land there that is totally improved. It's got everything sitting on it, sewers, underground lighting, all of that stuff. So the land that you're selling is improved land, even though you don't own what's above it.
Correct.
The land is improved. It's cleared. Everything is done. So why isn't it assessed as approved land? It is.
No, I think we're differing in how we're describing it. It is appraised as approved with approvals. With improvements, we don't include the improvements because we don't own them. We don't own the buildings, so you can't include them in the appraisal when you're not going to sell them. So that's why it's the land with approvals. We had to assess it as land only because that's all we own. That's all we can
Yeah,
sell.
but you're not selling them 40 truckloads of dirt. You're selling them land that's got all of these units on it, and you can't appraise that
We can't sell-
as improved land because it is improved. You don't own the improvements, but it's improved.
We can't sell something we don't own.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes, no, we didn't.
Excuse me.
We didn't appraise it as if it's a piece of land out in the woods. You're right. It's more than that. It's more. It's got approvals for the development of what's there. So land like that is definitely worth more than vacant land out in the woods. No question about it. It's approved as if it could have 184 units built on it, because it does have that on it.
Okay. Well, then what you said was misleading because you said it was appraised as unimproved land.
I didn't say that. I said it was appraised as approved land, land with approvals. That's what I said. If
Approvals or improvements?
approvals, there's approvals, which grants you the absolute right to build what's approved, and then there's improvements. They sound similar, but they're very different in appraisal world. Because if it's land with improvements, you're selling the whole kit and caboodle. If it's land with approvals, you're selling the land with the right to have that construction on it. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Hold the mic down.
My name's Ryan. I don't know if I'm talking about the right thing. Is it like one subject we're talking about, or like?
This is just on the council agenda so far.
Okay.
And another section after all this is over are public comments.
Okay.
And then you can come on up.
Okay.
Unless you have a question on what we've been talking about.
I have a question.
Okay.
So, do you have any more additional info on the Kids for Canines thing, or?
Yes, we will have someone up during public comments to
Okay.
discuss that. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Okay, closing public. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Zepsic.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Abstain on 417, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now we are on to 422, bill resolutions, computer 2018. Madam Clerk.
Be it resolved by the Township Council, the Township of Brick, that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $25,266,797.89.
Thank you. Any questions from council?
Yes, I have a question. On page 21, we have Homes Now. It says a separation agreement for $63,000. Can you explain that to me? I'm not sure.
Every month.
Okay.
Every month.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Halloran, second by Vice President Crate. Open to the public on questions on this computer resolution. Seeing none, close. Oh, gotta be quick.
Page 5, $750 for Summerfest advertisement, paying back Bank of America, $750. Page 9, 32 and 33, cost for civil service commission supervised training. Is that required? Does the state come in, or do we send people to the state for that? Like an explanation on that. Page 10, like to know how taxpayer dollars, commercial interior direct for the finance office to the tune of $3,025. Page 15, the mayor's summer newsletter, $3,834. He's on Facebook. We have Channel B20. I don't think $3,800 is well spent doing that. Page 16, Fallon and Larson, $2,500 for the issuance of a consent letter for drainage. Like an explanation on that. Number 20, again, Chambers Bridge resident appraisal for $4,289. As Mr. Starkey said, it is a public document. I didn't get to see that. I would like to see that. Not that I'm questioning it. I'm sure you're going to pay it anyhow. Page 21, Councilman Fosman asked a question about the Homes Now Inc. I know it's part of the separation agreement, but for Nan, that amount, $63,789, is part of the monies that Homes Now get for affordable housing. Number 30, page 34, professional services, financial advisory services, again, for drainage, a little confusing. And last but not least, page 44, haven't been to a lot of meetings, but to one several months ago, our business administrator did explain that she was looking for new electric sources, but we're still paying standard alternative $77,900. Those are my questions.
I guess I'm answering these, or? Oh.
And you?
So for page 5, Bank of America, the tech support incident, I would have to talk to our data processing to see what the incident was, but the Summerfest advertisement was for promoting Summerfest on Facebook. It was
So we paid them?
I would imagine this was put on, it was paid through the rec rider, but it was, I know when we've done the Facebook promotions before, I've given my personal credit card, because they don't take purchase orders, so I would imagine these two are both, ones that were paid on, the credit card that we got, so we were paying the credit card bill.
Okay.
7, 8, and 9, I thought there was something on page 9. Civil service training, did you ask about?
Yes.
Okay, so.
That's on 3 different pages.
So we're paying supervisor training through the Civil Service Commission comes in and does specific supervisor training, and it's charged to the department of where the supervisor comes from.
So the state of New Jersey, I guess this is it on existing law or the change in civil service requirements that they have to come in and?
It's just a specific training that they offer for supervisors. So when we have new supervisors or supervisors that, have asked for.
When you say supervisors, you mean somebody in human resources?
No,
or-
I mean department heads and division heads and managers.
Oh, for them to learn the
Right.
civil service requirements?
No, it's offered by civil service, so we pay civil service, but this is supervisor's training, so it covers soup to nuts, different types of education for people that may be new supervisors or have asked for additional education and they have education money in their budget, so it's supervisor training. So in the 2 cases you see on page 9, somebody from Buildings and Grounds went, and he's a new supervisor, and the same is true for the roads. We have a new supervisor in the road crew who asked for supervisor training, and
I'm good
Civil
with
Service
that.
Commission provides it, and we sent them.
Okay.
Okay? And I may have lost the next one. Was that on page 10?
Page 10.
Yes.
Okay, so that's all for finance office. We had to replace all of the carpet and do some additional work in there after a pipe burst. So this is for,
Were we insured for the pipe?
I'm sure we're pursuing that if we were, but this is for that work. Page 15. Okay, you want to answer that, Mayor?
Yeah, so we have a senior advisory committee where it's a representative of every senior community, a representative of the Chambersbridge residents, and a representative of at least 1 or 2 at large. And they, I'm always advertising, hey, we do this on Facebook, we do this on Twitter and everything else, and they're sitting there, we don't have any of those things. We don't go on the internet, or website enhancements really don't mean anything. We like to have things in writing. We still read newspapers. So from there, we've sent out newsletters. We send them out twice a year for everybody, and get rave reviews, not only the seniors, but everybody who gets them in the mail. They're happy to have them because now they have something they can actually hold and look and reference to throughout the year. And that's the mailing cost. I'm sorry, printing cost. I apologize. Printing cost, evergreen printing.
Okay.
And Mr. Scott, if it's all right with you, I will give you a call tomorrow. Those projects that were being done by our financial advisor were charged to a drainage line item, so I'm going to have to take a look at the reports that they issued so I can answer that question.
Okay, that's on 2 of those, okay?
And I think that covered everything. The rest were comments. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, standard alternative is the same that it's always been, which is we have not changed the structure for how we pay for the power that's produced, but we are looking into that.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Standard alternative.
Right.
So what we changed in the meeting that you referenced with my comments were, we went out to bid and got prices to lessen what we pay for our utility accounts, and that was a successful auction, and we are looking to emulate that process for the power generated by the landfill. We're working with the same consultant for how to go about doing that. So there's no change to how we're paying standard alternative. There's no change for how we're paying for the power at the landfill, but we hope to go through the same process that we did for the streetlights so that we get better pricing.
Okay, so I thought at that meeting, we had, at least I understood what you had said, that we were going to try to cancel our contract with
We
with them.
canceled the contract with the provider that we have for the utility lights, which was Con Ed, and Con Ed was also the third-party provider at the landfill. So we put them on notice of, as we're required to do, that we were looking for a change in third-party provider, and that much we have done, and the new third-party provider is soliciting options for us to how to, so we can get the best pricing. And the first project that the third-party provider did for us was the street lighting successfully, so we're happy to be working with a new third-party provider to get us better pricing.
Okay, so we're still paying that higher rate to them. We haven't reduced our rate.
We've reduced our rates for the street lighting, and we hope to do the same for the landfill, for the solar farm at the landfill.
Okay, do you have any anticipation when that's gonna happen?
Well, we've had several meetings with them, and I like how they think, which is outside the box and giving us some options, so I hope in the near future.
Near future, okay.
Anybody else on the computer resolution? Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Abstain on New Jersey press, media, and yes to the rest.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Abstain Meridian Occupational Health, yes to the rest.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Abstain CME Associates, yes to the rest, please.
Thank you.
Now, bill resolution for the manual 2018, Madam Clerk.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,735,478.78.
Very good. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Zapsik, second by Councilman Halloran. And any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Abstain CME Associates and yes to the rest.
Thank you.
5-1, ordinance on first reading is off of the agenda. And we are moving on to 6-1, ordinance on second reading, amend Chapter 404, Streets and Sidewalks.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Township Code of the Township of Brick to amend Chapter 404 entitled Streets and Sidewalks to require restoration of streets and other public areas to their original condition after excavation work.
Thank you. This ordinance, what it basically does is, in lieu of the utility work that has been occurring and is projected to continue throughout our municipality, the township engineer proposed revisions to the restoration requirements in our road opening ordinance. Codifying the requirements via ordinance is the most effective way to communicate our expectations for road resurfacing when utility companies complete repairs or improvements. Utility companies have been willing to work with us on full restoration of the roadways for larger jobs, provided that they know upfront and can incorporate the cost of road restoration into their utility installation projects. This amendment provides clear direction and our expectations so that the utility companies can plan accordingly. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumalo, second by Councilman Halloran. Questions from the public? Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now we are up to the public comments portion of our agenda. Can I
Please
have-
note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Mr. S- They're also waiting for someone, so.
Okay, I'm going to read my letter, so maybe they can understand what happens. Okay, John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. The letter's dated July 18th. I started it pretty much similar to my last letter. Dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Heather Young, Councilman and Councilwoman, a 14-foot noise pollution and safety wall, as well as increased shrubs and trees on both sides of the wall, is needed in Evergreen Woods, Sutton Village, Primrose Garden, Town Hall here, and Greenbrier Complex and Brick High School. The commissioners of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority are killing us and making life in brick a hazard to our health while we all live here. The Evergreenwood Condominium Association is putting out a survey and suggested referendum to spend up to $150,000 on an 8-foot noise and pollution barrier next to the cyclone fence owned by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority. The board recognizes the health issues associated with the expanded Garden State Parkway, and they want to do what they can to protect the lives of the Evergreen Woods residents. I don't believe an 8-foot fence will do enough, and actually, with over 10% of the units as rentals, it's hard to believe a referendum can achieve that 50% vote, especially when the cost to each individual homeowner will be $2,000 plus. Except for the absentee landlords, most are working class people and don't have the resources to feed their children properly, so an additional $2,000 will be tough. The one thing to note is that at least the Board of Evergreen Woods recognizes that there is a severe health risk, and they care enough to try to find a way to help the children and seniors live healthy lives. Some non-impacted residents in Brick Township either intentionally ignore the health risk or want to stay ignorant to the facts as outlined in hundreds of studies on air pollution. Other bureaucrats in government don't take the time to explore and research publications as to the ways to help their citizens and realize that the expanded Garden State Parkway has subjected all of our residents to the toxins that cause increased asthma to our children, increased incidence of autism in newly born babies, and premature deaths to our seniors. Some people heard of the March of Dimes studies where they stated the exposure to air pollution during pregnancy increases the risk of premature births and low birth weights, and where they mention that exposure during pregnancy may increase the risk of stillbirths, or even state that the exposure to air pollution may affect children's health, especially breathing and learning later in life. People often call the exhaust fumes that flow into houses and bus stops the silent killer. You can't smell or taste it, but if you're exposed to it, it kills you. Can the elected officials ignore studies that, or can they just be a little more proactive in their approach? Reuters Health article is also a study that shows the exposure to air pollution in life contributes to development of asthma in childhood and adolescence. Exposure is thought to cause asthma by affecting the size and structure of developing lung and immune systems. They also observed that combustion emissions constitute the largest source of anthropogenic emissions and lead to the degradation of air quality and human health. As they continue their studies, they state the exposure and number of early deaths caused by emissions are associated and do contribute to this early deaths. Maybe the bureaucrats and the well-endowed need to understand the article in Time Health where it states that 3 million people worldwide die from exposure to these airborne particles. These same groups may need to take heed to the National Nurses Study, in which testimony states small worrisome particles penetrate deep into the lungs of those near major highways. Can parents of autistic children sue the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, or is it that they just don't have the finances to do so, or they don't have the political power to fight for the lives of the children? This school system wants to raise $60 million to a referendum to protect the children from a possible yet improbable terrorist or nutcase attack. But along with our local government, will they join with the parents in lawsuits and other actions to protect our school children, our seniors, our working class, and which is this ever-expanding bureaucracy is killing our children? A 14-foot pollution wall is needed on the Garden State Parkway, and it's needed now. End the reign of terror of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority. Thanks for your time.
Next, Maya and Colleen.
There you go. Maya Jackson, 26 Wayside Drive. Colleen Crate, 133 Meridian Drive, Brick. Hi, My name is Maya Jackson, and my friend Colleen and I are working together on a project called Kids for Canines. The event will take place on Saturday, September 15th from 9 to noon at the Drum Point Sports Complex. The purpose of the event is to help raise money for the Brick Canine Unit. Did you know that our canine officers, along with their canine partners, put their lives on the line each and every day to help the people of Brick stay safe? You may be aware of the dangers of them getting injured due to gunshot or other types of violence, but there is another hidden danger that a lot of people don't even know about. The American Veterinary Medical Association reports that canine units, particularly at risk of immediate death from inhaling fentanyl. You see, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency reports that fentanyl is 30 to 50 times more potent than heroin and 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. Canine units, who are often the first line of defense in many situations, can accidentally ingest this potent drug, either by sniffing it, because that's how they detect it in the first place, or stepping on it, because the pads on their paws are capable of absorbing things. The goal of Kids for Canines fundraiser is to help raise money in order to purchase life-saving Narcan kits that are made specifically for dogs, and to also offset the cost of training that our canine officers may need in order to properly use the kits. We have a lot of fun things planned for our Kids for Canines event. First, we invite everyone to bring their four-legged friends to the Drum Point Sports Complex on Saturday, September 15th from 9 to noon so they can take a fun walk around the park. As you walk your dog around the park, you have some extra fun visiting vendors, creating one-of-a-kind art with your canine, and watching your very own Brick Canine unit put on demonstrations throughout the event. We are currently seeking businesses and people to sponsor this event. We are asking for vendors who may want to attend our event to sell their items. We are currently putting together baskets of items so they can also be raffled off that day. We have a Kids for Canines page on Facebook where you can get more information on how to help out, or you can call 848-210-6993 or email lbcrate.com at gmail.com for more information. With the help of our great community, Colleen and I know that this will be a very fun event for everyone to come to. Please join us on raising funds for this very important event.
Thank you, girls. So, next, yes.
Nan Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. And one of my usual pet peeves. This morning, as I was driving out, well, it was before noon, therefore it is this morning, I saw a man, it appeared to be a man, bicycling, and possibly his teenage son. However, they were on the other side of Burnt Tavern Road, and they were bicycling against the traffic. That happens to be against the motor vehicle law in New Jersey. In fact, I don't think it's called motor vehicle. It has to do whether it's motorized, pedestrians, or any other using the roads. Bicyclists, all bicycles, motorized or not, go with the flow of traffic. It is a very dangerous area there because we don't have enough room. There is a big push for years about aging in place and wanting people like myself to be able to live in their home and encouraging walking. I also got smart growth notices on my email. The one I read today talks about 16 pedestrians a day dying because of not having proper abilities for the amount of traffic that's going on, which led me to wonder what's happening with our pedestrian and bicycling ordinance. Yes, I'm addressing you, Chairman DeYoung. You were the one that are heading it up. When are we having our next meeting? When are you going to get more input from people?
These are public comments, so
Yes, it is.
thank you.
But you're not paying attention to me.
I am.
Otherwise, you might have noticed when I stopped speaking.
I heard you.
Didn't say a word. So we need to do more about educating people about how to do it. When are we going to get sidewalks that will accommodate them? Shoulders? Oh, and that leads me to the flooding that occurred. When was it? This past week? I've lost track of time. Where the pictures showed so much, knee-deep in one place. And from the look of the pictures, much of it had to do with no curbs. Others was the Burrsville Jack Martin intersection that since the early 2000s, when I was attending Oates meetings, that they discontinued, I brought up, and the improvements have never been made there to take the water flow, whether it be from melting snow, where we got hit by a car making a turn. As I went today, after seeing the bicyclists, I made a left turn out of Greenbrier 2, which is an extremely dangerous thing, particularly for people that are in my age category. I'm way over 55. A couple of years ago, when I moved here, I took 55 Alive, which they no longer use as it, and it said that people, as they age, shouldn't be out on roads at a limit higher than 40 miles an hour. Ha! Where do I go that it's not? Can't go on to 70, can't go on to Burn Tavern. So that, plus the lighting, and as I drove on Burn Tavern, I got stuck at the light. I was heading to 70 and the light at Van Zyl, and I looked over to my left, and I call it no man's land. The other side, where they didn't even know what it was when I first went to the town clerk at the time, George Savasco, about who was responsible for the body of water that goes along one edge of our community. It is a branch of the Beaverson Dam. I found that out by going to the county and getting the governing documents for the association that nobody ever gave me. I think the town better start policing themselves. The growth over almost to the street, never mind obscuring the sidewalk. You take some people and you have you go out and you do your own policing of their private property and then charge them. And that's going to be my last comment. I think it's high time we acted like a neighborhood, a community, and we start having a fund that some of those things can be done by volunteers. There's a lot of people who will volunteer to help homeowners who seem to be having a problem and clean up a few bucks here or there. We don't have to charge them. We can start a GoFundMe page.
Anybody else? Yeah. I called on you.
Unless you're living in a cocoon, you know by now that our government, legislature, and governor has cut $1.9 million out of the Brick School District. Unfortunately, that's only step one, and that progresses for the next 7 years, and the percentage goes up to the point of where they're cutting 100% of all the money that's going to the Brick School District, which means they're returning nothing. Now, I don't know how much money comes back to the township, but the rationale behind the cuts is that Brick is a rich town and we don't tax enough. Now, I don't have any kids in the Brick School District, but everybody else does. I don't know how much fighting you've done. I know you've done some. It's your, for lack of a better word, your party that's doing this to the Brick School District. I also don't know if you know there's a meeting on Tuesday at 7 o'clock to discuss the cuts in the budget, right? this is going to affect Brick Township and the school district. The one guy who fights about taxes, fine. Everybody here's got a stake in this game now, right? I hope you understand what I'm saying. This 1.9 million this year, 8% next year, 15% the year after, where the whole thing goes. My forecast, my prediction, my crystal ball, you're next. Because New Jersey doesn't have any money, and if they're not going to give it to the Brick School District, next thing is they're not going to give it to the Brick Township either. My prediction is there's going to be nobody left to pay the taxes. I don't know what you can do. I don't know what you tried to do. Whatever it is, it didn't work. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes.
Thomas Kislow, 211 Arrowhead Park Place, or Drive, excuse me. I'm new to Brick, so I apologize. I came over from the Toms River side. I'm here representing the Ma Deuce Deuce. We're a local Ocean County non-veteran, nonprofit veteran organization. We are here, obviously, as was discussed earlier, for our approval of our special permit for September 22nd. This will be the second year that we've done Operation Rucket. It is a march, not a run, so that's why it takes so long. We average about 3 to 4 miles an hour. So if anyone in the public here has questions, I am free to answer them after the meeting is over. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, close public. Mrs. Birkin?
I have nothing. Thank you.
Mayor?
Okay, thank you. We have some great community events coming up. Our last Summerfest is this Thursday, so anybody watching on TV may not, it might already be past, but it's not the end. A lot of people think once Summerfest is over, that's the end of our summer events. But what people forget about is every single Wednesday in August, we have concerts at Traders Cove. So the first one is August 1st at 7 o'clock. It's Bobby Bandiera, who used to tour with Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen. And then there's one every single Wednesday in August after that. The very next night, Thursday, August 2nd at 6 o'clock, is our annual car show. It's another well-attended event, fun, community, family-oriented. And then the following Tuesday, August 7th at 5:30 is our National Night Out and National Kids Day celebrations that takes place at Windward Beach Park. And there is police department demonstrations there. There's music. There's there's going to be the police camp graduation. And thanks to Councilwoman Lisa Crate, we're having a Township Touch a Truck event where the vehicles are on display. So you get to see up close, the kids get to see recycling trucks, the police vehicles, the mass, it used to be called Casualty Care. Thank you. Mass Care unit will be there. So those are just a lot of events still going on. Summer's definitely not over, even though Summerfest ends this Thursday. Concerts every single Wednesday. There's also movies in the park. Please take a look at our website for those dates and times. I know tonight Jumanji starts at sundown if we get out of here. Should be soon. That's our Traders Cove. But two awesome events that we are doing here just to have our small town feel, even though we have 85,000 people here. We want to keep our small town feel. And we have, somebody speaking?
Keep going.
Councilwoman Lisa Crate did this great photo contest. So it's basically what makes Brick great, and why I want to talk about it now. I talked about the last Summerfest is a lot of things happen in summer that makes Brick great. So you have now until October 1st. You basically take 5 photographs, and you have to get those printed. And what we do is we're going to have all the photos that everybody has on display October 18th in Civic Plaza. And it's a special gallery night where you're going to see what everybody has taken as far as photos. It's going to be an overall great, first of its kind event. Thank you very much for coming up with the idea. And see our Facebook page for more details, or Councilwoman Craig can fill you in on those details. And then the other thing that we have going on, which is quite important for our community, it's just basically, it's called Pick Up Brick. So it's throughout the summer and ongoing. The Township of Brick will be supporting the Pick Up Brick anti-litter campaign. There's 3 components to it. It's education, which is sharing best practices to eliminate litter. It's enforcement, which is highlighting consequences for littering or not adhering to township code. And it's action. So the Environmental Commission is going to lead cleanups. The first one's going to be August 4th, 2018. I'd ask if you were interested in that cleanup event. Individuals and groups can all volunteer. You can have if you have a group out there that wants to volunteer, or individuals, you can contact the Pick Up Brick program, and they are available at pickupbrick@bricktownship.net, or you can also call 732-262-1050. And thank you to Keith Rella, who's one of the main employees here behind the whole campaign. So a lot of fun things still going on in Brick for the summer, and more things to come, including October 18th in the fall. Thank you.
Mr. Starkey. Madam Clerk.
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Hartman. Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. I just have one announcement tonight, and that says the mayor covered the cultural arts series that's going on at Traders Cove for the rest of the summer, but the Guild Theater Works has a show coming up called Murder In. It runs August 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's Friday night, Saturday night at 7 o'clock, Sunday at 2. And August 17th, 18th, and 19th, again Friday and Saturday at 7, Sunday at 2. That is at the Bob Anstett Cultural Arts Center, 515 Herbertsville Road. And if you call 732-262-1006, you can make a reservation. If you've never been there, the venue is very small, so reservations are required to make sure that you get a seat, and I think it's a $5 donation at the door. And considering that you can't even go to the movies nowadays for $5, it's a pretty good deal. So I would encourage everyone to take advantage of it. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Halloran?
Thank you, Council President. I just learned something new this evening, thanks to the 2 young ladies, Maya Jackson and Colleen Crate. I was unaware that our canines were at such risk just doing and performing their normal duties of sniffing out drugs. Had no idea that that was so dangerous for them. So I thank you, and I ask everybody to support their effort for Kids for Canines. And good luck with it. That's all.
Vice President Crate.
Thank you. I'm just going to back up what the mayor said. Thank you so much. I'm really excited about the Kids Night Out this year, August 7th. So not only do you get to meet your police officers and your firefighters and EMS workers, but we are going to have a Touch-a-Truck program. We have about 7 or 8 different trucks that are going to be there for everyone to come out and see. And the DPW has worked to put together some facts about each of those trucks. So when you come on out with your kids to check those out, you'll get to see things like, how much garbage does the garbage truck pick up, and, how much stuff do we recycle every year. It's just some fun facts and some great fun for the kids for that evening. So I look forward to seeing everyone there. Also, again, the mayor already mentioned it, but the Pick Up Brick, August 4th, I'm excited about that. I'll be going out and volunteering for that as well, because I think it's a great program. And finally, the photo contest. When we talk about all the things that make Brick great, and a lot of people really do love this town and love, all different aspects of the town, if you choose to participate, I really want you to think about what it is to you. What about Brick is your thing? So I think I've said this before, but maybe going to the beach or a particular, one of the many trails we have in Brick that you can walk, or if you've had a family barbecue and your family is what makes Brick special. People, places, things, businesses, if you go get pizza at the same place every Friday night and the same person always waits on you and you have a relationship and you think they're great and they make Brick great, that can be part of the photo contest too. It doesn't have to just be scenery. It can be people and things that you do as well. So we're really looking forward to seeing what everyone turns in, and it's going to be a lot of fun that night. So even if you don't participate or bring photos in, you're welcome to come on that gallery night just to see what we have in store for everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Councilman Mumolo.
Nothing this evening.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes, I got a little report on Public Works. The last 6 months of 2017, there was 9,218 tons of leaf and brush were picked up, and the single stream recyclables, we had 4,580.2 tons, which relates to $81.29 per ton, saved us $372,333 in 6 months. That was the last 6 months of 17. In the first 6 months of this year, we did 9,295 tons of leaf and brush, and single stream only was 4,764. We did almost 200 tons more, and that was $387,333. That was quite a bit of savings. That's the tipping fees we don't have to pay to take it to the dumps. So that's quite an accomplishment. They're doing a great job down there, and there's no recycling grant money left, but we're always 2 years behind. In 2016 grant money, it's going to be approximately $112,000 that we get when we recycle. We get some grant money for doing that. On August 11th at 9 o'clock, we're going to give out the reusable shopping bags at the farmers market with information inside. So if anybody comes down and bring your single stream plastic bags to us, and we'll give you a reusable shopping bag with information in there. So that'll be happening at August 11th at the farmers market. We also have I want to bring up a resolution that I think everybody overlooked. We did pass an ordinance was passed for 2-hour parking at Traders Cove. We have several concerts coming up there. I believe we need to waive those parking ordinances for the movies and for those concerts that are there, because anybody parking for 2 hours where the concert's going to be will be liable to get a ticket, because we should waive those parking rules there. So Heather, do you think we should do that, or should we just hand out tickets?
Concerts last an hour, I believe.
6
2 hours
o'clock.
is more than enough.
Our marina staff is aware when there is a township event, and they don't intend to have any concert goers get tickets for attending the concert. So they're very aware of when we have township events and when they would need to call.
Why
the
wouldn't we
police.
waive the parking fee so we don't have to worry about this?
Well, you
It's
don't
a
have to
law.
waive it because
It's a law.
You don't have to
It's-
waive it because you have staff there.
We
that
have an
is-
ordinance, we have a law. The law states that it's 2-hour parking. So you're saying you're just
The
looking at,
concert's this week.
why do we go
take
for
care of it.
noise ordinances? Why don't we just let ShopRite just do whatever they want? Why do we go for something like that? This is, you guys passed an ordinance and you don't want to abide by it. So now you should pass a resolution for any movies in the park there at Traders Cove, and you should pass it for the concerts that are there. Let's see, and since we don't have, out of this whole year here, it's July, I had 3 business and finance meetings. That's it. I had more public works committee meetings than I did business, finance, and public, I'm only on these 3 committees, than public safety. That's why I have to ask these questions here, because I'm not getting any information on the inside.
Business and finance parking.
You're chair of that business and finance. We don't have any meetings. That's not
We
me.
don't discuss parking in business and finance. Simple.
We were going to discuss it tonight, but the meeting was canceled at public safety. But that should be done. An ordinance, resolution should be passed just to waive the fees in case anybody
Bring it up
parks
at the
there.
next public safety and discuss it.
It's ridiculous.
Any other comments?
Yes, I do.
You're just arguing.
Council, Heather, I can say what I want. It's my comments.
Okay.
Tom McLoon, he has 11 restaurants. What he did is he didn't pass anything. What he did in his 11 restaurants, everybody knows that we're a shore community, and the straws that are in the restaurants, he stopped serving those straws. He serves paper straws only on request. So I'm trying to work on something for our town. We're a shore community, that restaurants should stop using them and use paper only on request. They don't have an ordinance. Tom McLuhan in his restaurant did it all by himself. I'm going to be going around to our businesses and ask them to start using paper straws only upon request, because a lot of if you don't, the state's going to come up with an ordinance, and what happens is, if they, let's say, a single stream plastic bags, single stream the straws in the restaurants, if they pass a law that says, let's say, the single-use plastic bags are 5 cents. Let's say they do that, and they're supposed to be passing that in the fall. If we pass something ahead of time, let's say we're saying no single-stream shopping bags in any of the stores at a certain amount of square footage, ours will be grandfathered in. So if the state wants to charge 5 cents a bag, we can grandfather ours in if we want, that we don't have any charge on any of the bags because they won't be in the stores. So there's a law out there right now that the state's working on. If we let them go ahead and not do it ourselves, the state law takes effect, which the bags will cost money. So we have a chance to do something there before the state does pass that. Since we don't have that many committee meetings, Michael Fowler, who's replacing Michael Fowler? He's the business planner. Does anybody know? Tara Paxton is?
We do not discuss employees at public meetings.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, I just recommend personnel promotions, changes, I really recommend against them. The employees have privacy rights, and it shouldn't be discussed here publicly.
All right. That's all I have.
Thank you. I have a Buy and Brick update. We have great clips that have joined Buy and Brick. And what did I have? I had the Traders Cove concerts that the mayor mentioned every Wednesday night. I want to thank Councilwoman Crate. She's done a really great job with the whole DPW Touch-A-Truck and the Take 5 and all that stuff. It's fun to see new programs come to life, so we really appreciate that. And also Maya and Colleen, thank you for bringing forth Kids for Canines. I encourage everybody to go September 15th to Drum Point and support that cause for our canines. And our next scheduled caucus or public meeting is the Township Council will be on Tuesday, August 14th, 2018 at 7 p.m. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.